Hi, my name is Leon Rowe, currency trader and trading coach at trading180.com, and welcome to this week's supply and demand forex technical analysis. If you're new to the video, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. The video is time stamped, so you can skip straight to your favorite pairs, or you can watch the whole video and get some knowledge and the way that I look to trade the markets using supply and demand, as well as determining value on a price chart and some trading opportunities, right? So don't forget also that you can get access to the fundamental and sentiment analysis course. The link is in the description box below. I also have a few videos explaining why, or my take on why you should add fundamental and sentiment analysis to your trading toolbox if you are struggling with technical analysis alone. So let's get started, as we always do, on the Dow Jones Dollar Index. And the Dow Jones Dollar Index, what we have is we had a bit of a pullback this week. We did react from last week as well, from this supply zone right here, and on Friday we had a bullish candle, but nothing really as far as a reversal. And if you don't know, the Dow Jones Dollar Index is just a measure of the dollar's strength against major currencies like the pound, the yen, and the euro. So this adds some extra confluence when taking trades on the dollar forex pairs. So if you see any kind of bullishness, especially if it's within this demand zone or a supply zone, then what you want to do is going long or going short on any of the other dollar forex pairs. So into Friday we did get a bullish candle, but it weren't at any supply or demand levels, but we've gapped up at the moment. I'm recording this quite late, so at the moment we haven't really got any confluence of the Dow Jones Dollar Index, but we do have a gap up, which is normally potentially a bullish sign. We have FOMC this week, so I probably expect the market to range and not move too far until FOMC minutes come out this week, right? So we get some forward guidance on interest rates and the hiking cycle, etc., right? Hiking or holding. So at the moment we're in a bit of no man's land again. From last week we did pull off out of this supply zone, so nothing really new from last week. And if you did manage to get some pips off short in the dollar and other pairs, well done. And if you managed to get into some long trades, well done to you as well. But if you are looking to trade the dollar, the best thing to do would be probably to wait for prices to come up into this supply zone again if you're looking to get short. And again, if you're looking to get long, potentially a pullback into this demand zone here. You don't necessarily have to wait for the price to come back down into this demand zone, but it adds some extra confluence if you are looking at buying or selling any of the dollar forex pairs. So moving on to the dollar yen, and dollar yen, interestingly, we've come down into this demand zone here last week. We can get rid of these two. We did have some risk sentiment come into the market, and some dollar sentiment, I suppose negative sentiment news, but now we're at this interesting level, and I've got this level of what we call support, resistance, and now potential support within this level of demand. And all really support and resistance levels are supply and demand zones that have really been just projected into the future. So we've got we call it maybe a key level, or what we would say probably more confluence, right, within this area. Now some of you may have obviously the returners amongst you know how to apply the technical analysis basics, right? First of all, determining value, and then we apply the supply and demand order equation. And there's a link in the description box below and up above on the top right hand side to a short course which goes over this in a lot more detail, but I will just give you an example of what I'm talking about, right? So whenever you have price come into a level of demand, not all demand zones are created equally, and what we want to know with the supply and demand order equation is the traders from a technical perspective that are looking at this from a technical chart, why is there more likely to be more supply than demand, or demand than supply within an area? So not only do we determine value through supply and demand zones, in the case we have a demand zone here if we're looking to be a buyer, but then we want to apply horizontal support and resistance, right, diagonal support and resistance, and dynamic support and resistance. So that gives us willing and forced demands depending on how we approach this. So let's look at this from a willing demand perspective, right? A willing demand is traders that are looking to enter and place new trades, right? So we've got not only determining value from this demand zone, we're going to have support and resistance traders looking at this level also entering. So again, support, resistance turned what? Support. So traders who just basically trade support and resistance are also going to be entering at this level, right? So we've got demand zone, we're entering, we're going to have buy orders, which is demand from support and resistance traders. We also have diagonal support and resistance, right? So diagonal support and resistance is basically like just trend lines. We're joining higher lows, right? So you can see from here, you could have potential for this area. You can see that we have traders who are trading diagonal support and resistance looking to enter around here. You can see how prices reacted off of here. So again, we got demand coming into this area. Then we want to look at dynamic support and resistance, 2150, 100 and 200, right? And then we've got this 50, the black line and the gray lines, the 50 EMAs and the SMAs. All right, so we've got the 50 EMA, SMA bouncing off of this area. So this, between this 111.80, right, and I'm going to also get rid of this demand zone as well as we pierced through it, right? So this area right here, right, we've got a really great setup if you want to be a buyer. Now, what trumps all of this from a technical perspective is fundamentals and sentiment. Now, the yen is a risk currency, which means that when everything is uncertain in the world, if you have any you know, things like the Donald Trump trade tariff wars, or if you have any kind of political uncertainty, the yen will do better, right, than the dollar. And all things fundamental, just looking at the macroeconomic data, then the dollar should strengthen. So again, if you see some strengthening going on the dollar index, right, then this is the trade to buy. But if worry and risk starts to come into the market, then the yen should still be a sell. So regardless of the technical setup, we still, you know, we still want to take trades in alignment with fundamentals or sentiment, right? So that's just an example. When we apply the supply and demand equation to all trades, doesn't matter if you don't get everything in alignment, one or two, but preferably three. But if you get one or two of these, horizontal, diagonal, then again, take the trade if it's in alignment with the direction that you do want to trade in. But what we've also created from a selling perspective is a supply zone, which is right here. So supply right there, So if you do enter long and we do come up all the way up here, this is where you'd probably be looking to take profit. If you're looking to get short on the Japanese yen, then you'd be waiting for a pullback before looking to get short, right? Again, sentiment, I'm not big on breakout trading and really buying at the lows, which is what you'll be doing really with the Japanese yen. But if you feel that buying into the Japanese yen into demand is your thing, then you can easily obviously look to get short anywhere, probably at a break below that level, right? So those are your options for the dollar yen, dollar Swiss. We have prices really made a massive move up over the past couple weeks. I've been looking to get back into this trade. I exited around here, waiting for a bit of a pullback, but at the moment we haven't got one. We haven't made any new highs. There was an opportunity to get short this week. You can see where prices have reacted, but we haven't created any kind of demand zone at the moment. Right, so if you're still looking to get short, again, if you're not in already, maybe look to prices to pull back into here. If you think the dollar is going to get weak and the Swiss franc is going to strengthen, really not much until we create maybe a new high, right? Then this becomes an area of demand, right? But until that happens, we can't put that on the chart, and this is what we're kind of left with if you're looking to be a buyer of the US dollar, right? So moving on to the dollar CAD, and the dollar CAD again has reacted to this area from a couple of weeks ago, getting supply, and now we're getting a bit of a sell-off. So if you do believe that the dollar CAD is going to get, the Canadian dollar is going to get stronger than the US dollar, then this is the time to get short. If you're looking at a long trade, we have some demand right here, and this is where I'll probably be looking at getting potentially long if I'm looking to trade this pair, right? And again, if we if this level doesn't work, then or if there's no value in this area, price actually breaks through, then we're looking at this demand zone. And again, with all these supply and demand zones, from a technical perspective, apply the supply and demand order equation. Why are traders, why is there more likely to be supply or more likely to be demand in this area than supply, and why is there going to be more supply in this area potentially than demand? And again, just urge you to watch the video on the supply and demand order equation, which is in the description box below. Moving on to the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. So we have created this demand zone here, higher high, higher low, and this is from a long-term demand zone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of, I'm going to lower this for now. Let's have a look. Right, yeah, so I think that would be the demand zone. We have reacted off of it. I'm just gonna put another one in there as well, as we've created higher highs, higher lows. So if you're looking at being a buyer of the New Zealand dollar, anywhere within this 0.6472 level, the top of that, and into this this area here would be where you'll be looking to be a buyer. Again, if you're looking to be a seller at the moment, the only opportunity to really try get short, when I say buyer, I mean buyer of the US dollar, all right, is going to be at this area right here, all the way up here. So we could drift higher. I don't really expect us to, but you never know what will happen this week. If there's going to be any kind of news catalyst before FOMC, But FOMC, I think a lot of traders will be positioning themselves depending on what they think is going to happen to try and get long or short on the US dollar or the New Zealand dollar. So these are really your options. Moving on to the pound dollar. We did come into this area, higher area of supply, which I am in at the moment. In fact, took 2 trades, lost 1 and I'm up on 1. And actually, matter of fact, I will show you 2 trades that I took. So before I get rid of that demand, that supply zone, this was the first candlestick, nice outside candlestick I ended up taking, right? And trade didn't work out, right? I had a very tight stop. Trade literally reversed on me within the next few hours. No problem, because I know that I really want to be a buyer of the US dollar over the British pound. And again, got another outside candle on Friday, and as you can see right now, I'm actually up as we stand right now, about 3 to 1. I may probably take profit after I record this video. Would be a good way. So again, just to reiterate, like with fundamentals and sentiment, what you really are looking at is value. And sometimes we don't win all trades, but as long as you have conviction in what you think is value, and from a fundamental perspective, the dollar is king at the moment, regardless of what you think conspiratorial wise, if the stock market's crashing, etc., right? The dollar is still the king. Data shows they're ahead of pretty much every other economy. So why I would want to be a buyer of the pound, especially as the pound is going through its Brexit talks. I wouldn't want to be really a buyer of the pound over the US dollar. And again, if you're unfamiliar, and you wouldn't notice if you're not paying attention to the fundamentals and sentiment, yes, the pound is going to be quite volatile, right? And any news that comes out, may positive news for Brexit may obviously make this trade go all the way up here because it's more sentiment. But when you take into account the fundamentals, right, this is what should be happening. And if this didn't happen, right, and prices came further up, right, let's go back to the daily chart, and even if prices came all the way up here, right, at the time and stopped me out, I'd still be looking to short this currency pair, because eventually what's going to happen is the fundamentals are going to kick in, and this is where you get the 3, 4, 5 to 1 type trades. The only reason why I'm not really holding this, looking to hold this trade, is simply because of sentiment and the volatilities and the unpredictability surrounding comments when it comes to the pound. And again, this is not financial advice, but I would advise you guys to really think about potentially maybe just taking profits a bit earlier than you normally would on the pound, because as we get closer to the Brexit deadline in March, you're going to see again a lot of ups and downs and swings. So I'll be looking to take profit probably after this video. And yeah, if you did get in with me, well done. If not, there's always going to be other opportunities, so don't worry. But as we stand right now, what you'd probably be looking for if you are looking to get short on this currency pair, you're looking for probably a pullback, right? And personally, this level has been touched a few times, once, twice. I'd be looking for maybe a fresher level above that area. So the one, probably just if prices come above this 1.33 level into the 1.335 level, then that's a fresher area of supply to look to get short. From a demand perspective, we have that right there. So if you are looking to potentially buy right now, this is where you'd be looking to be a buyer. I'm going to extend this demand zone up here as well, as we've created higher highs and higher lows. So anywhere around here to look to get long. If you're looking to get short, wait for probably price to come back up into here, right? Preferably higher, but if you get again any kind of price action that indicates potentially a reversal in this area, you know, be my guest. But also if you're unsure, you can either stay out of the trade or just cut your risk size. So just use half or maybe a quarter of what you normally would for your position size, and maybe just scale in as prices continue to go your way. So moving on to the pound yen. The pound yen, you can start to see now we've broken out, or we're breaking out of this potential range. I'm going to keep this demand zone, just extend it down slightly until it touches this demand zone here. I'll keep it on here because we could see a reversal, right, and price action. You know, wake up on the Monday morning and prices are up here. So I'll keep this demand zone here until we actually touch this lower demand zone. So this is potentially a buying opportunity on a lower time frame. This will be your first selling opportunity. Again, buying here. And again, if you think that the pound is going to get stronger against the yen, be a buyer. If you think the yen is going to get stronger than the pound, you know, risk off sentiment, then you're looking to get short in this area, right? Moving on to the pound Swiss. The pound Swiss did come up into this supply zone, and we're actually selling off right now. So again, if we do get prices retest this area, this is where you'd want to be getting short. And if you're looking to get long, you could be, you know, ride this this trend, you know, up higher highs and higher lows. This is going to be your first area to look to get long. And again, if prices do break down, these are your zones to look to potentially get long this week, right, and take advantage of some potential pound positive sentiment. But again, it's going to be very volatile and quite unpredictable, the pound. Again, the Swiss franc is looking to the Swiss National Bank are looking to weaken the Swiss franc. So this is a pair that I'm probably going to be sitting out on, to be fair. Moving on to the euro dollar, and the euro dollar, I'm also in this trade short from Friday, and we had some hidden supply here. I'm just waiting for price to come back up into this area before looking to get short, and as we did, and I'll show you the entry, and again another outside candle. So we did kind of break through, but then we came back into this supply zone, producing an outside candle. And so at the moment, I'm up just a little bit, all right? Yeah, 1.5, probably a bit more than that, so I had a bit of tighter stuff because at 28, 29 pips, something like that. And again, this comes through just fundamental analysis, with the dollar being the stronger and the euro potentially being the weaker, especially with uncertainty around the Italian budget and you know, the fight between Italy and the European Union. We should get some potential weakness. Looking at demand, I'm going to put a demand zone right here as well. So this would be first area to look for buying opportunities. If you're looking to sell right now, again, if you're looking down at maybe a lower time frame chart, if prices do come back up into anywhere around here, then you may want to potentially look to get short. If this level fails, then you'll be looking at, this is going to be a first area to look or the second area to look to get short. And again, if this demand zone fails, this is where you're looking to get long. Euro yen, and the euro yen broke through this demand zone this week, and again it was more risk sentiment that had come into the market, and we're reacting right now again to this lower demand zone. So now would be a decent time to look to get long if you think the euro is going to get stronger. If you think the yen is going to get stronger, then you'd be waiting for a pullback at least, or prices to kind of break through and then come back up into this now created supply zone, which it would be if this breaks down, and then look to take advantage to the downside. Moving on to the euro pound, and the euro pound did come down into that demand zone there, lower demand zone around here before, you know, putting in 3 days of bullishness. So we definitely have some demand here, right? There's definitely value, and the market thinks that the euro is potentially undervalued here. By how much we don't know just yet. So if prices do come down into this area here, potentially look to be a buyer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put demand zone right there as well. If you think that the pound is going to be the dominant currency, this is where you're looking to be a seller and look to get short right around here. Euro Swiss, and we've continued to make higher highs, higher lows. I am going to take that off for now. Actually, I'll take it off permanently, and looking at buying opportunities for the euro. We've created higher high, so right there. So if you're looking to be a buyer, this is where you'd be looking at your first area. If you're looking to be a seller at the moment, even though we do have some supply, it's just 2 days really, because this could be profit taking, and I wouldn't say it's a strong area of supply, to be fair. So probably look for prices to come up into that zone right there before looking to get short and buy the Swiss franc, right? This is a currency pair I was looking to get long on around here, but we just didn't get the prices come down into this demand zone. So I guess you don't always get the trades, but there's plenty of other trades, and there's always other currency pairs presenting lots of opportunities. We've got the Euro Aussie, and I actually got into this trade as well. I got long on the Australian dollar, right, and it was on the 6 hour. So this was the candlestick, and we did come down to about a 1.5 to 1. We're pulling back at the moment. Prices are just kind of reacting probably of this intraday demand zone as well. I do expect the Australian dollar to get stronger, right? But again, with this currency pair, if we do have any kind of positive sentiment with the euro, then we could, you know, head higher. And if we do start to head higher, then I'll just manage my risk accordingly. If you did manage to get in on this candlestick and you know, take profits at around about a 1-to-1 or more than a 1-to-1, and you're out of this trade, you know, well done to you. If you're looking at, you know, being a seller, then again, you'd probably be looking for price to come up into here. But what I would suggest is, as we've touched this level, you know, once, twice, you know, well, say this is the first time really, so that would have been the first time, second time, which is fine, third time, which is okay, but now we're coming up into the fourth time. It's not desirable, as we know that levels tend to get weaker the more times they are touched. So what you probably would want to do is, if you're still looking to get short, right, then enter maybe half a position, or you'd have to wait for some sort of potential manipulation at this area, right, a stop hunt, and then when prices start to come down and the stop hunt becomes, you know, more visible, then look to enter potential short, right? If you're looking to enter long from a daily perspective, like I said, we did have some demand here, right? There was some demand here, so I did expect prices to react here, but it's not a level, really I don't know, I should say a strong level of demand, but not a technically strong level of demand, even though we did have a very bullish candle here. I'm going to keep it here though. I will keep it here. So if you do want to get, you know, long, then that's going to be, I would say, pretty a deeper pullback before looking to get long. Or if you're looking to get long, that'd be definitely the best area to try to look to get long on the euro. So moving on to the Australian dollar, US dollar, and did get some bullishness in this long-term demand zone, right? And we are pulling back a little bit, and again, depending on what happens with FOMC, we could see prices come down, come up, or pretty much, you know, some dollar weakness and US dollar weakness before looking to come down. So if you do want to be a buyer of the Australian dollar, you're looking at a pullback, right, before looking to get potentially long. If you're looking to get short in this currency pair, then really the only way at the moment is to wait for price to come back up to this supply zone before looking to get short. And finally, the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, right, and we did actually, matter of fact, let me go back. There was a demand zone here which did react, right? So you did get some bullish price action, just didn't follow through, right? So that's what it would look like on the lower time frame chart, right? Prices came down, and now what we're seeing is some bullish price action within this zone here. So again, we are at the bottom of this this range, potential range. So if you think that the Australian dollar risk on sentiment is coming into the market, then this would have been a decent level to get long on an intraday, right, on the Thursday, Friday, you know, trading day. If prices do come down, right, into here, creating maybe some sort of double bottom pattern, or if prices come down into here and you think that the Australian dollar should be the dominant currency, which I do think, but if risk off environment comes into the market, then really the Japanese yen is the currency to trade. And I think we do have a supply zone created, which we do right here. So you'd be waiting for prices to come into this zone here before looking to get short. Right, so prices here, prices pull back anywhere within here. This is where you're looking to get short if we have a risk on environment. So that's it for this week. If you do have any questions, please just email me or leave a comment in the comment section box below. Again, don't forget to take advantage of the free fundamental analysis course. Watch also some other videos that I've done on my opinions on why fundamental analysis, you know, does work, and also the supply and demand equation, as well as lots of other content, you know, the introduction into supply and demand, zone trading, as well as the complex pullback, and lots of others. And I'll be trying to produce more content for you as well as the weeks going forward. So again, hope you have a great trading week, and take care. So if you'd like to receive the best supply and demand Forex levels absolutely free, click on the link in the description box below, enter your email address, and we'll send you the levels that we have just analyzed in this video. You'll get all of the major Forex currency pairs, and you'll get regular updates and never miss a Forex trading opportunity.